You look nice. Your brows look good.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me a reason to put on makeup today.
Thank you for giving me a reason to put on makeup today.
You're welcome. Should I also?
If you want. Your lips have color, though.
Thanks.
Do you have stuff on them?
Nope, just my lips.
Oh, really? They look good.
Thanks.
Yeah, these are my lips, too.
Are you cold?
Cold? Oh, they're not blue.
It was a joke.
Right. Well, if they were blue, it'd make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I did this on a Zoom, it exploded in front of 200 people, and it kept exploding. And I was like trying to just like gloss over it, but there's just no gloss. It just kept, and I was like, I have to go.
I have an issue happening.
Yeah, there were a lot of issues that day. Well, I'm looking forward to providing some value to the marketplace today.
Yeah.
We'll have to slip into TV mode here, but great combo earlier. I wish it had just been recorded.
You know, yes. Yes for one, but also...
Saw dude.
Saw dude.
What's cracking?
He's trying to get Maya so he can take her for a walk.
Oh, Maya.
But yeah, I feel like you're the leading expert in working and being quarantined, because you've essentially been quarantined for about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
Working from home.
My whole life has been gym from home, eat at home, work from home for like 5 years. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
But yes, I'm excited to talk about this because I feel like it's even going to provide me some value as well.
Yeah, well, and I was thinking like doing this in the context of not just, obviously like my audience is like the roofing industry and stuff like that, but honestly it's really more geared for everybody right now who feels affected by this whole thing. Like friends, people in our network, anybody that this reaches, like helping people step out of this like apathetic victimhood mentality. Guess I'll just do nothing. Guess I'll die. And like
right.
helping them reframe and like take a more powerful stance, because everybody really has a lot. Everybody is responsible for their own results and their reality, regardless of whether they want to believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the biggest thing right now is a lot of resistance. It's not even that people, I think there's a degree of people don't know what to do, but there's also a degree of people don't want to know that there's stuff that they can do, because that now they're not off the hook anymore.
That means they have to do something.
That means they have to do something. Exactly. And so I want to talk about, we don't have like a straight up agenda right now, but I do want to kind of go through like what's going on with people's minds, and then why, like, unfortunately blowing the whistle on those people, like they don't want to hear that in a lot of cases, and then bringing them into a place of like, can do things that they can do, like willpower, like here are things you can actually do. So it's not about making people feel shitty for getting high on the couch for the last 3 weeks and not doing anything of value. Right. But it's like, hey, that isn't going to help you. You're not going to feel good about that. Your life is going to get worse because of that. So we're not trying to make you feel bad.
I think there's a couple people out there right now. I think there are people who just don't want to do anything and they're using this as an excuse. And then I think there's also people who are too overwhelmed and don't know what to do and just need to get started with something. And that's like figuring out what can you do to be productive right now? Like, let's figure out what you're not in control of, which is the world, like coronavirus. And then what are you in control of, and like making a list and just starting just one check mark at a time.
Right. And I think the other thing too is people equate productivity sometimes to just things that equate to income. And it isn't just about income. But if you're being completely unproductive overall in general, you don't feel inspired to do any of the hard stuff. And the hard stuff for most people right now is finding a way to make income. So even if it just means Marie Kondoing your closet to start, instead of turning back on Always Sunny, like that's step one to doing something meaningful and valuable. And that felt good. Like that's something that I always do, is like, if I feel like I have shit that I need to do, but I'm not doing it, the first thing I do is clean my house.
Yeah.
And
like you've accomplished something.
It gets me going. And then I'm like, I did it. It feels great. And now I feel like Superwoman and I can do anything. So now I might sit down and bust out a blog post, or I might answer the emails that I've been putting off or whatever. And you just allow this snowball effect. Like, it's about doing things that feel good, because productivity does feel good. Show me one person who accomplishes something and goes, I feel worse than I did before.
Right.
But we avoid it. It's so weird. We know how good it feels to be productive and achieve things and accomplish things and create things. Like, that's what humans are built for. Like, that's what we do. But for some reason, we like avoid it and push it away. And then we start feeling like shit if we see other people who are being productive because they're making us look bad, but they're not. It's your inner being saying, I'm not happy with what I'm doing right now. I don't feel useful. I don't feel of value, and I don't feel like I'm doing anything worthwhile. And like, that's the issue. So anyways,
and that's one thing I've actually been doing the past couple days is working out in the mornings and doing like a quick, like 25 or 30 minute workout, but getting up earlier than I have been. And then I'm like done working out and like ready to start the day by like 9:30 or 10. Yeah. Which, like, for me, I don't even work till 10:30, and obviously I'm working from home right now, so I just start my day at 9:30 or 10. But it's just like made me feel even more energized. Like, okay, I got that done today.
Right.
What's next?
Right.
Of just like waking up and like trying to get right on a Zoom call 10 minutes before you have your Zoom call, and just like not feeling like you have everything like under control.
Right. Yeah, like simple little habits that people can start doing right now is set an alarm. Don't let yourself sleep until 11 a.m. every day. Like, set an alarm. And I love that you said you work out first. Like, that's always been my routine now and forevermore. It's like I get up and the first thing I do is I go and walk 2 miles on the trails with my dog. So I'm already up, taking care of him, getting some cardio in. I'm outside in the sunshine. I feel good. Usually I'm practicing Spanish. I got my headphones in while I'm doing that. So it's like a twofer. Then I get back and I work out for 45 minutes, sometimes an hour or whatever. And by then, I've done so much already. I'm like, I've practiced a new language. I've walked my dog. I've walked 2 miles and I've worked out. It's like, boom, let's hit me with the next one. You know, sit down, answer emails. I start that. And then that triggers me into, oh, I'm going to work on this project. But it all starts with just doing something. Like, my rule at my house for myself, I didn't even realize I had this rule until this weekend. But I will not turn the TV on if it's daylight outside. Won't do it. So if you're waking up in the morning and the first thing you're doing is loading a bowl or sitting on the couch and turning on the TV, you are killing yourself.
Right.
You can't start your day that way.
Well, that's just going to snowball into like staying in front of your TV for the rest of the day too.
And every minute that passes, you start feeling worse and worse and worse and worse. So you just stay there. And then the day is gone. And then you go, well, now it's already 4:00 and I haven't done anything. I'll try again tomorrow. But then you do the same shit.
Right.
So start instead, you replace those habits. Like, just decide, I'm going to set my alarm. And it doesn't have to be at 7 a.m., but set it for 9 a.m.
I've been getting up at 8:30. And by the time, like, my alarm goes off at 8 and 8:30 now. And like 8:35, I'm like, okay, I need to get up. Yeah. And then bust out a quick workout.
Right. And then you're in motion. And you know, I really recommend some physical activity to start the day. Like, that's, for me, that's always, like, for most people, doing something physical is the hardest part of their day. So if you do that, even if it's just, if you're somebody who's listening to this and you're not a super active person, just go walk for 20 minutes. Take your dog for a walk. Ask your neighbor if you can walk their dog. Do a double whammy. Like, I used to do that for my neighbors all the time. My next door neighbors, like, they're older and their dog is a maniac and I walked him every single day. He's an asshole, so I don't take him anymore. But like, go walk for 20 minutes. Like, there are so many resources to us. Go down in your basement or clear a space in your living room of 10 feet by 10 feet or 8 feet by 8 feet. Pull up a YouTube video of a 20-minute at-home workout. Do that. You'll feel so great after you do. You just have to get over the hump of the resistance. Like,
or I was even talking to one of my good girlfriends who has like a 2.5-year-old right now. Yeah. We were talking about how we've been starting our days. She's like, I just want to make sure that I'm up before my child, so I feel like am getting ready for the day, so I'm not like surprised when they come and wake me up, and then I feel behind. Right. So even as small as that, like, get up, get ready, like take a shower, use the bathroom, like get ready, and then like start your day out.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's something for everyone, even if you're in a, like, there's so many different situations. Right. So you might have a kid and you can't necessarily work out first thing in the morning, but there's something that you can do.
Right.
Get up, just journal the first thing.
Have your cup of coffee, read 10 pages, do a Duolingo, right? Like anything like that. Do something that sparks your creativity and makes you feel good. And the other thing I want to remind people is it's not necessarily like, what I'm not saying is if you don't get up and create a Picasso masterpiece, then you are not doing anything of use. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is the point is you want to do something that makes your higher self, that thing inside you that feels good when you do well, you want to light that thing up, whether that's with a workout, whether that's with a good journal session, whether that's with doing a round of Duolingo or reading 10 pages of your book or knocking out answering your emails or creating content for your social media channel, for your business. Whatever it is, do something that is of value.
I think what's most important that you just said, and I'm glad you said it, is do something to get your creative juices flowing, because this time, like, creativity is so important because we can't get outside and we can't do the things that we're used to doing.
Right.
We have to get creative right now on how we're making money, running our businesses, just like living.
Yeah.
Because I think something that people need to understand right now too is if you're in that mindset where you're just going to like coast it out up until this is over, things aren't going to be normal when this is over and we get back to work. And we have to start adapting now so that we can adapt as things begin to reopen, because all of our businesses are going to change. Like, it's not like going to go right back to it.
Right.
And just getting into that.
Well, even just like what I think about is imagine that life is a river and you've been in this boat, and for a while the current was going this way and things were pretty good and pretty easy. Maybe you rode a little bit, but you just kind of went with the current. Well, now the current has changed and it's a rapid going in the opposite direction. And so many people have thrown their hands up in the air and just aren't grabbing the paddles. And they're just going, well, I guess I'm just going to sail on down the river until I'm literally 2,000 miles downriver. And then when it goes back to normal, I guess I'll figure it out then.
I'll start paddling again then.
What? No, like you have paddles, and yes, there is the option of throwing the paddles overboard and just being like, well, I guess I'm just going this way now. And that is okay. It is one way to live, but if you realize that, if I'm going to be 2,000 miles in the opposite incorrect direction after this, and that's not where I want to be, and that's going to be much harder, and I'm going to be way further away from my goals and the destination that I was heading in before, shouldn't I grab this paddle and just row, even if it's hard, even if I don't know exactly where I'm going because I've been kind of coasting before? Like, you have those options here. Like, so one thing that I was actually writing about this before we started this call, I was kind of like busting out some stuff on a Word doc, but I was thinking about the idea of like, most people, unfortunately, are waiting or they rely on somebody else to give them or create opportunity for them. Whether that's the government changing a law, writing a stimulus check, doing a tax
waiting break, for unemployment checks.
Exactly. Or it's an employer, right? Well, this person, now that my business is closed, guess can't do anything about it. Do you realize that the people that you work for, if you are an employee of a company, the company exists because they created it? They created that opportunity. Why are you waiting for somebody who's just like you to give you an opportunity? And the thing is, it becomes this convenient kind of scapegoat, right? It's like, well, nobody's handing me opportunities, so I guess, like, can't do anything.
Right.
You are in control. You actually are. Like, everybody looks at, like, people who are successful or people who are famous or rich or business owners or whatever, and they look at them like they're different than them. They're not. They're a person just like you. They were born shitting and crying into a hospital room, useless. And then they made a series of choices that you can also make, whether they started 10 years ago and you feel behind. You are in control of your own results. But it's unfortunate that so many people use that as a scapegoat, and they feel very, very threatened when they see other people making stuff happen, because it shines a light on the fact that, well, your excuse doesn't hold up, does it?
Right.
You know?
And let's just pause, because I'm sure people will listen to that and say, like, well, what if people are just born into, like, good situation or, like, a rich family or something like that? But that's not necessarily the case. Like, look at you, for example. You've been in sales since you were, like, what, 19?
Yep.
And you've made your money, like, family aside.
My family's not giving me any money. The last
zero money.
dollar that I accepted from my parents was when they paid for my second year of college, of which I dropped out. So, like, they started paying for college. I didn't even get through my prerequisites, basically, dropped out, started selling knives, and then I, like, stopped talking to them entirely. I haven't taken any money. I've never taken a loan from a bank except for the mortgage on my house. And I'm not special. And I don't want to make this about me either, because it's easy to point to, like, examples, but I'm not special. I'm just a person. And I said, what do I want? Okay, how can I make that happen? I didn't sit around and wait for somebody to go, you're worth $85,000 a year. Come work for our company and trade 40 hours a week. I just didn't do that. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Because opportunity is all around every single one of us. And sometimes people don't like to hear that, because, again, it blows the lid off of their convenient excuse, right?
Right.
So what I want to shift gears into is empowering people right now in as many ways as humanly possible. And everything we've talked about up until this point has just been to shake up what you believe. Like, your belief system is dictating your actions right now. And if you believe you're not capable, you have to wait for somebody else to give you opportunity, and you're a victim to just your circumstances and there's nothing you can do about it, you're fucked. But it's your decision about reality that's making you fucked. So let's get people out of there. So we've talked about already, like, things that people can be doing. And so the first thing is, Alison and I have just talked about just some momentum. Create a schedule for yourself. Take control. Be your own boss. That's the best way I could describe it. Like, when you're being an employee and you go to your job, it's pretty regimented, right? It's like, you need to be here at 9 a.m. You clock in, or whatever, however it is that works. I don't know how it works anymore. You clock in, and then people tell you from this time to this time you have to be in this meeting, and then from this time to this time you have to be filling out these forms on the computer, and then from this, well, do that for yourself.
Right.
Be an adult. Like, you're at home now. Go
schedule. Exactly.
Bingo. Make yourself a schedule. Don't resist it. Why are you resisting it? Just do it. Set an alarm. Decide what you're going to do. And again, start small. If you're, like, starting from a full halt and you're like, I don't even have pants on. I haven't put pants on in 4 days, and surrounded, but there's like 4 empty wine bottles next to me. That's okay. All God's children. But start right now. Set your alarm. Decide what you're going to do tomorrow. Queue up a YouTube video for a workout. Map out a route that you're going to walk for 20 minutes or a mile or whatever. And then when you do that, then schedule something else. Like, okay, then I'm going, and make it enjoyable. If you love coffee, brew up a coffee, sit down and work on a business plan. Create some content for your business, or read 10 pages of something that's actually going to, not just fiction, read something that's actually going to put new ideas into your mind and help you become better. Learn something. Get on.
There's so many free things online now too. Like, things at your disposal that you can just, like, how can I do this? Google it.
Right.
Like, everything is out there right now.
Seriously, everything. Go on YouTube. You can learn how to trade. You can learn how to start a podcast. You can learn how to sell things on Facebook Marketplace. You can learn how to do a new language. You can learn how to write a book. You can learn how to write a stand-up comedy set. Anything you want. Like,
just even look at other people and what other people are doing. Like, how's the saying go? Something's the sincerest form of flattery.
Imitation.
But just, like, look at what other people are doing that you want to do or where you want to be, and just do that. And it doesn't have to be, I think what gets people, like, nervous about this too is they feel like they have to do so much at one time. And it's even just, like, take a couple hours out of your day and start this, and then even, like, reward yourself. Take a break.
Right.
eat lunch,
Right.
one episode of something,
Right.
and go back to what you want to do.
Right.
Like, I think, like, even I think it was like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I just have so much that I need to do, and I don't even know where to start. I wrote a list down, and I was done in 2 hours.
It's so easy when you write it out. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I have more time to do more things now.
Well, and when you let everything just be in your head, it takes up so much space and it seems so intimidating. But the second
Yes.
you just write down, and remember, instead of write a bestseller, it's like write a few paragraphs about this topic that will probably expand
Yes.
and get into your book. Like, make an outline. That's step one.
Yes.
If you do that today, if today you write the outline, you're on pace to write a bestseller, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
write the outline today. And then the next day, I suffer from the same thing. Like, I get like big projects in my head that I want to do, whether it's like rewriting a webinar or writing another book or like doing a sales page or something. And because I look at it as this giant thing that I have to do, I get paralysis by analysis. But
Yep.
I finally, over like literally only like the last year, have I gotten better at this. But I go, you don't need to write the whole thing today. Just sit down and just start writing a piece of it.
Just like a little bit.
Little bit. And guess what? When I do that, whether I stop and end there or not, if I write this little snippet, I'm like, that felt good. And I go, ooh, now I know because I wrote this part, now I know what the next part's going to be. And then I get excited. And now I'm excited to go back to it because I'm just building on it. It comes back down to just starting and just do something.
Mm-hmm.
Something. A little bit.
Just one thing, and you'll feel so much better after it.
Yeah. It's just like
back to like what you can control and what you can't control. And like you can control these things. So focus on, I feel like people get in such a funk of like the fear of what they can't control. And that's one thing that I was talking to someone like a couple months ago, and they're like, Alison, you just never seem like you never get super emotional over things.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get upset when something happens. I'm like, what's the point? Like, that's just a waste of my energy. I don't have the time or the energy to focus on anything negative.
Right.
So I'm just focusing on what I can control, which is the next steps of what I want to accomplish. And I just go from there.
There's that thing that it's about worrying, and it says, worried? Is there anything you can do about it? No?
No.
Then stop worrying. Yes? Then stop worrying. Do the thing that you can do about it. Like,
it's like the arrows going to the boxes.
Exactly. It's like, no, then don't worry. That's exactly what it is. It's a chart that looks just like that. And so, yeah, like that's one huge thing that Zane and I always say is like, what is in the circle of your control? And I think too many people focus on what's out of their control because, again, it's a convenient excuse. Whether they realize that's the reason they're focusing on it or not, if you focus on things you don't have any control of, well, then you can go, well, these are the reasons that I can't do anything. Well, maybe your circle of control is this, and your circle of not control is out here. What can you do in here? And then just do those things. That's all you can do anyway. So instead of stressing,
Absolutely.
like, do those things. And again, your personal power is so much bigger than you think. People have just boxed themselves in. And it's like, you can create music, art, literature, programs, trainings, tutorials. Like, you can create things that people need. Like, that's how people do it. They just decide, oh, I could do that. And then they start making stuff. Like, that's how you succeed. So, but let's kind of talk about some ideas that we were talking about earlier, like on a specific tactical level, because we had some really great like examples of things you can be doing.
On.
Huh?
So we had some really great voice memos going on.
We had some great stuff. Yeah, earlier Alison and I were like voice memoing back and forth about like things that people can be doing, and it was really good. And afterward, we're like, we should have probably made this like done a live. So we're like, let's do it later. Yeah, we're like, do you want to hop on Zoom later and like put this stuff together? So what we were talking about is in particular people who are like whose businesses are in upheaval from COVID-19. Like if you're in the service industry, the restaurant bar industry, if you're a hairdresser, a massage therapist, a nail tech,
any things where you're like self-employed or you own your own like small business.
Correct. And you cannot work right now because you're shut down, or maybe you've been anything like that. So here are some things. obviously you can't be opening up the salon, going to the spa, right? Doing those things and having people come and see you right now. But do you know for people who can't get like their hair and nails and get a massage done right now, that normally do like they're a regular customer of yours, they cannot wait to see you. They're going to come back to you. So right now, you can either have this giant gap where you're not servicing anybody and not making any money, or you can go, look forward. Here's the gap. Here's where we were before shit got weird and business was as usual. We're paused here, but then this is the moment where the gates are reopened and I can have customers again. Why don't you give your clients a good deal? You can collect some money right now, and your idea is the gift cards. I was saying pre-sell, but yeah, sell.
Yeah, just anticipate for that happening.
Right.
So like maybe we're going to be off for the next month. Start doing things like I told you earlier that I prepaid for a gift card for the girl who normally does my hair.
Right.
And we're just going to end up setting up an appointment as soon as she's right back to work, and I'm going to use that gift card. So like things like that for small businesses.
Well, and small business owners, I'll take that up a notch. Incentivize it. Sell $100 gift card for $75. Mm-hmm. Text all your clients and go, look, I know I can't see you right now. I'm trying to keep stuff in the pipeline right now. As soon as we're able to actually like see each other again, obviously I'm going to book you. I'm going to make you an offer. For the next 24 hours, I'm doing a sale. You can get $100 worth of my services for $75. Who wouldn't buy that? They know they're going to come get their hair done again. They know they're going to book a massage again. They know they're going to come get their nails done again, right? Or if you're a restaurant, like send an email blast out to your customers. Most people have their favorite restaurants, and they go to those same restaurants over and over and over again.
Yes.
And the first thing people are going to want to do as soon as they're out of quarantine is go to a restaurant. Go to a movie theater, like do things that are entertaining.
Yes, they're going to want to get out.
They want to get out.
Think about the things that you like to do.
They want to be pampered. They want to go be entertained. They want to go eat good food at a restaurant. So if you're a small business right now, you work for a small business, you could be making money right now by pre-selling, and do a discount if you want. Incentivize it.
You discount, do packs, like buy a pack of 3 and get this. Buy
Bingo.
A pack of and
that's a great idea. Because
like,
that's upselling.
Like that too.
Right.
And in that way, like, you're supporting yourself now.
Right.
And yes, they're going to be using this later, but it's just going to build your momentum for later too.
Exactly. Like, it's going to help keep things in the pipeline right now. And then when they come, guess what? They're going to tip you well. They know that you need it. They're so happy to see you.
Well, they're going to be happy they're getting a discount. And guess what happens when people like you and they're getting a good deal?
Referrals. Right.
And they're going to start referring their friends to you too. And that's just going to continue building.
Right. So, and let's roll off that too. So referrals right now. If you're somebody
I had that written down to talk about today.
Perfect. Well, and it's so important because right now everybody knows that each other needs help. We all know that everybody needs help right now because we're all in a similar boat, right? So it's like, hey, like what was your referral approach earlier? You're saying what you could be doing is reaching out to your client base, sending out an email blast, doing a text message blast, stuff like that. Just share what you said earlier.
What was I talking about earlier?
We're talking about like using your current clients and being like, hey, by the way, like incentivizing referrals. Be like, yes. I can't wait to get back to work. I know that like you guys are going to be stoked to be like, I'm excited to be able to see you again, stuff like that.
Or even say something like, I'm excited to see you. Let's get your friends in soon too. I'll make sure that I'm prioritizing your referrals.
Yeah.
If you're referring them now too. Even something as small as that.
Or saying, hey, send out a text message to be like, hey, anybody that you refer to my business that like reaches out to me, I'm going to give you a gift card for $10 off your next service or $15 off your next service. Like you can be building a client base right now and creating like generating leads and then having messages go out, like being in contact with your list. These are things that you can be doing. The other thing
thing we were talking, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was going to say one thing we're talking about too is just like staying engaged with your client base and just like the public in general right now too, because you don't want people to forget about you.
Right.
So like maybe someone had an appointment. Like let's say, just for example, I had like an eyebrow wax appointment at the beginning of this month. if I'm not constantly getting emails from those people, I won't even know when they're opening back up.
Right.
They engage by, like we said, email blasts. Social media is so important right now because everyone's at home. So my screen time's gone up probably at least like 25% than it normally is. Just because there's nothing else to do right now, and you're constantly like on your phone, on your laptop, at home. What else do you have to do?
Right.
So people are expecting to see like updates and what's going on too. I just sent out another like email blast. I was telling you earlier, I've been sending out just like in the past like 4 days, I've sent out like 3 email blasts, just like different forms of people that I'm trying to get like prospects coming in for my business. So just like staying on the front of people's minds is important.
100%. Like right now, like you have this incredible opportunity. People are exactly like you said, they're on their phones and on their computers because they're at home. So if you're running a business, even if you can't work right now, stay in front of them. So a couple things. One, rapport in general. Reach out genuinely to your clients and be like, hey, I just want to check in with how you're doing. Like, I know this is a crazy situation. How are you? Genuinely ask that. Like, engage with your customers. Build relationships. Second is provide value. So, for example, like I immediately got stuff from my lash girl and she's like, here's how to take care of your lashes during this time.
Yes.
Like, here's a product you can use. Yeah, like here's a lash serum you can use so that like if you can't get your lashes done, you can at least be like making sure that you keep your lash in a growth phase so your mascara game is strong. Like, here are things you can do, provide value.
And the great thing about that is that's doing nothing for your lash girl, but that's doing so much for you, and you're going to remember that. And you're probably going to tell more people about it. And you're definitely going to go back to her as soon as she opens up and, like, stay engaged with her, too.
Right. Like, so if you're...
like that, where, like, for the people like your lash girl or these people that own their own businesses, it might not feel like you're getting a lot out of it right now, but you're setting yourself up to get more out of it later.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, for example, there's a guy that when I went and got my skate, he sharpened my skates in Littleton, Colorado, like, over Thanksgiving. And they're normally, how they make their money is they sharpen skates, they do figure skating lessons, they run classes. Well, guess what? The rink is closed. What are they supposed to do right now? Well, they could just go, well, the rink is closed, guess I'm going to go home and eat chips. But you know what they're doing?
Right.
I've been so inspired by this guy. I've been watching every single day he puts out videos where he's doing off-ice training. Hey guys, here's today's off-ice training. And he's even selling a couple different things. There's like, they're called spinners, but like for figure skaters, there's like a tool that you can stand on that spins. So you can practice centering spins and stuff on the cement or on the kitchen floor or whatever. And he's also doing like, there's like an attachment you can put on your skate blades that has wheels, kind of like roller blades. But he's like, look.
But still to like keep practicing.
Exactly. And he's doing off-ice workouts, off-ice conditioning, right? They're sending out emails where they're like, here, like normally they have a skate shop where people come in and buy, and they're doing everything online now. And they're like, here's 20% off, you know? So people, I jumped on it. I got one of these like,
why wouldn't you?
Well, no shit. Like that's what people get is like, people are at home shopping. They're on the computer shopping. They want to spend money. They're bored. So give them the opportunity. But if you're just disappearing, going 0 dark 30 with your business, you're shooting yourself in the foot. People will buy stuff. Just put it out there. And so creating
make
value.
It fun too. Like when you're putting these things out there, like make it fun.
Right.
Some of my like email blasts I've been sending out have been just like videos of me being like stupid, but just reminding people like, hey, so like I work in real estate, for example, for people who don't know.
Yeah.
And so like I'm used to seeing people in person, face to face every single day. So I've had to get super creative, and my whole company's had to get super creative and do phone appointments and virtual appointments. And so I've been like creating these video email blasts, just being funny. I made like a Tiger King themed email blast, and I'm like, hey, and just like call it like it is. Hey, I know coronavirus is going on, or screen times have gone up, and you've probably gone through at least one Netflix series. I know I have. I have just like cheetah print. And I was like, but just so you know, like we are still open, just in a different aspect. Like people are still buying homes right now. Right. So like small things like that, just to be like, hey, like still here.
Yeah. Well, and I think also people forget, like, again, you can create the environment that your customers live in, for lack of better terms. Like, if you're putting out the message that, hey, stuff's weird, but here's how we're still doing it, we're not coming to a full halt. You're creating a belief system and an operating system in your customers' minds that's like, oh. But if you just disappear, they just assume the worst. Everything's shut down. Nobody's buying stuff right now. But guess what? People are buying stuff right now. People are still online. It's just different. So again, it's about adaptation and focusing again on what can I do? And get creative. Like, if people who did, you know, mailers, which mailers still work. This might not be the perfect example. It's just the first thing that's coming to mind. Oh, email marketing. Okay. When people used to do telemarketing back in like the 90s and 80s, that was like the most effective. Telemarketing used to work. They would call you on the phone, and then that like stopped working. But if your business model was, we telemarket, and you didn't jump on when email first came out and that was effective during that window, you would die in the water. And then when email stopped working because everybody was emailing, then we got text messaging marketing. Do you know how much shit I've bought? I should just go through my email. So far this week, I have bought via text message, Instagram, and email. I've bought I bought a star projector for like my ceiling. I have bought 2 camping mats that like roll up really small, but they're apparently like really comfortable for camping, like to sleep on. I bought those. I've bought, gosh, I need to look. There's quite a bit. Oh, I bought like these window things that like paste over your windows and make like rainbows on your floors, also so that my neighbors don't write me letters about seeing me naked, because that keeps happening. So I'm going to put those over like my bedroom and my bathroom windows. These are all just, I bought the skate thing, the skate insole, because people are marketing to me. And I go, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty good about not online shopping. But recently, since this continues going on, I started online shopping. And it's just something as simple as like, I was out walking my dog and I was like, man, everyone's wreaths outside look real good and mine's old. I'm going to just go on Kohl's.com and get a new wreath. And as I was on Kohl's.com, I was like just sitting in my house. I was like, I don't like that chair anymore. And I bought a new chair. But just like things like that, like people, like you're just scrolling through and then you start to like continue. And then again, people are just on their phones more. They're looking at things because they're bored.
And again, I want to challenge people's beliefs, because so many people have this like massive scarcity belief. And it's nobody's spending money right now. Nobody's making money right now. Yes, there are some people who literally live paycheck to paycheck and don't have disposable income right now. Yes, there are some people who aren't spending money. But you know what? There's a shitload of people who are. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
You're one of them. Like, that's one thing that I remember.
Everyone still is. But you have to understand, too, like, people are also saving money. Like, I normally have a 45-minute commute to work.
Yeah.
So does
we're
saving so much money in gas right now.
You're not spending money on concerts, meals out, right? Drinks at the bar. Like, that's exactly right. And that's something that I've thought about a million times. I'm like, you guys, you might not be making as much money right now, or none, but you also shouldn't be spending as much, probably. Like, you're not going out and doing the things that going and spending
traveling
$50 at Applebee's.
Yeah, right now for like
flights. Yeah. You're not going and spending money on hotels, planes, rental cars. Like, so again, it just goes back into, it's all about what you believe about the situation. And
it's all about mindset. Yeah.
If you pigeonhole yourself into believing I'm screwed and the people that gave me my opportunity can't give me one right now and I just have to wait for this to blow over and nobody's spending money, you're going to have such a difficult time trying to bounce back.
You also have to consider, too, people that are in your specific situation who are doing something and who are going to be ahead of you during this time because of it. Right. So, like, you almost have to, for your own well-being, start to get creative with this stuff.
Right.
And set yourself up to be successful as you keep going on.
Yeah.
So you don't get like, if just like you said, if you're not exposing yourself and like, well, not you, but like if you're not exposing yourself and like engaging with your clients. Someone else is.
Right.
So,
somebody's
like,
doing it.
You have to.
Like, I want everybody right now or later after this, just hop on Instagram and Facebook and just start scrolling. Look at how many people have sprung into action with clever ads. They're in the same boat you're in. They're in the same COVID-19 quarantine, but they're going, okay, what can I do? What's a creative way for me to respond to this, to market my business, to put myself ahead? Like, it's a choice. It is completely up to you how you're responding to this. So do yourself a favor. It's not about, and that's the thing I really want people to take away from this. These messages are not about shaming you for not living your best life during quarantine. It's not about winning or passing or failing. Like, what it is about is, don't you want to live the best, easiest life possible? Like a life that is full of abundance and is not full of struggle and scarcity? Because if you're anybody who says, no, I'd rather struggle, you are a liar. You're a liar. Everybody wants to have an amazing life where they don't have to worry about money, and they're healthy, and they have peace of mind, and like their surroundings are good, and they live where they want to live, and like they have good relationships, and you know, they're physically fit. Everybody does want those things, but it's up to you to have them. So if you don't want to struggle, you don't want to be in a position that you don't want to be in, take action. And we're here to tell you right now, you have everything that you need to do something about it. You don't have to have $1 million idea. You don't have to write Romeo and Juliet, right? But
I think the big thing too is just do something. Not everything's going to work, and that's okay.
Right.
Like, figure it out what's going to work for you, and then you'll understand like what's working, what's not working. But you have to do something in order to realize like what's going to work and what's not going
and again, it's the doing that will feel good. And it's the doing that will continue creating that momentum in the right direction. It's the sitting back, just giving up, that is going to wreck you and put you in such a terrible position with each passing month where you're just watching your bank account go down and you're getting fatter, sadder, more depressed. Like, that's a shitty position to be in. Shouldn't you be like fighting tooth and nail and just getting a fire lit under your ass right now to be like, I'm not going to let that happen to me. What can I do? You know?
And this is one thing we were talking about earlier too, is like, normally when you are working, you're working 8 hours a day and you have to commute and all of that stuff. You don't have time to do even some of the things that don't have anything to do with your job, but you've been wanting to do. Like, now's the perfect time for that to happen.
Right.
So like, time out and like work on those projects that you wanted to be doing, or like do like a side podcast or a side like vlog or something like that. Like,
exactly.
You have that right now.
Exactly. Like,
focus on those things that you're not necessarily going to have all of this just abundance of time to be doing later.
Right. Well, and I think this is really just calling people out. I mean, this whole situation is going to call people out, because how many people are always like, I want to do this. I want to start a podcast. I want to write a book. I want to learn Portuguese. I want to start doing yoga. I want to start working out. I want to start reading more. Okay. What's stopping you now?
Now's the time.
What's stopping you now? So, like, are you full of shit? Or are you going to do something about it?
Are you all talk?
Like, are you going to do something about it? Like, this is your opportunity to, and take joy in it. That's the other thing that I want to help people, like, try to do is, instead of looking at it like, oh, I have to be productive, it's like, take joy in doing things that are going to make you feel valuable, worthwhile, inspired, and creative, and run with those things. You might create something great. You know, I talked about on a video that I put out earlier here today. I saw something that William Shakespeare wrote one of his masterpieces, King Lear, while he was in quarantine during the Black Plague.
I think I saw that the other day too.
So while everybody else is like jerking off at home and just like numbing themselves out with Chardonnay all day, other people are taking this time and creating something amazing that's going to have a lasting impact on the world, or their families, or their businesses, or their mental health, or whatever. So like, just take the reins. You are powerful. You're creative. Like, you have everything that you need to create an incredible life, create something worthwhile, and then make yourself feel good in the process. And the big message here is, you know, the world benefits from you being your absolute best. Nobody benefits from you playing small. Nobody. Not your spouse, your family, your coworkers, you know, your customers. Nobody benefits from you doing the bare minimum and sitting on the couch all day. They benefit from you.
Such a big thing too is just like, you providing value is going to be such a memorable thing. Like, I think it was funny. I was sitting down the other day and I was like, it's so interesting to see with everything going on with this pandemic and with coronavirus, like what companies and what people are like taking care of their people and which ones aren't.
Yeah.
And you're like slowly figuring out like, this is who I like and this is who I want to support money wise too.
Right.
This is who, like, I never want to associate myself with too.
Right.
And,
right.
Like, by putting yourself in that position where you are providing value, that's just helping yourself out so much. Right. And like, obviously you're going to feel good because of it too. Yeah. I was just like emailing my customers updates the other day, and I don't have any significant updates for them, but it's just to say like, hey, I'm still here. I'm thinking about you. I don't have any updates, but that's my update. And I just want to let you. And my customer emailed me back. They're like, I miss you too.
Yeah.
Like, but thanks for the update. Thanks for reaching out. Like, I was getting nervous with everything, and I just wanted to like know like what's going on, even if it's nothing.
Right. Yeah. Like just being human, connecting with your clients, connecting with your friends, you know, like what you said earlier was great, which was not every single thing that you do right now may equate to revenue, but it is going to big picture. The more you really like develop your relationships with your customers right now by providing them value, building rapport, touching base with them, and offering them things, giving them good deals. Like your loyal customers would be stoked to, again, get a $100 haircut in color for $75. Of course they would jump on that bike because they know they're going to buy it in a month or 2 months whenever they're allowed to. They know they're going to do that anyway. Or go to your restaurant or get a massage or get their nails done or whatever, you know, all the things we keep talking about. So instead of sitting back and disappearing into the shadows, be in front of your audience, create value, do tutorials, give advice, just check in with them. Really nurture those relationships.
Something.
Do
like something. I just want to make like a big banner that just says
do something. Yes, I love that. Just do something.
Just do something.
Anything. Do anything.
Even if it's like, even if you've never done any of like technology, social media, even if you're not involved in it, start somewhere. Even something as simple as like, let's say, for example, you're a hairdresser and your salon isn't open right now. What can you do that maybe won't give you something right now, but it's going to give you something in the long run?
Right.
That is maybe doing a tutorial on how to curl your hair like people like. Or
right. Here's how I blow dry your hair. Here's the technique.
Yes. Even something like that.
Or let me just interject because it's another, just like to help people keep thinking. Maybe it's like, hey, this is a great opportunity for you to give your hair a break from chemical treatments. Here's a deep conditioner that you could be using right now. So it's not an uphill battle. Like keep your hair super healthy. I'm offering it for 20% off right now. You know, for the next 24 hours, click here and order it. You can be doing stuff like that. Like if you're a lash artist, you can be selling serums for people to help with their lashes. Like all the things I know we're like getting really, really specific, but if you're a restaurant that you can't offer takeout stuff at a discount and also send people easy recipes. Here's how to make our special sauce at home.
Yes.
Shit like that. Give them value. Give them value.
We just ordered Chinese food the other day. Just because like we want to keep like supporting just like local businesses who are still open.
Totally. I ordered Chinese food 2 days in a row.
So good.
Bloated.
But like they thanked Justin when he went to pick it up. They're like, thank you so much for like you could tell that they've been struggling and they were like actually very appreciative of us like giving them business.
Yeah.
But so just to piggyback on what you said.
Yeah.
But even
you're a massage therapist. Do little video tutorials like, hey, here's how to give your girlfriend a great foot massage.
Get this kink out of your
yeah. Here's how to use a lacrosse ball between your shoulders. Like here's how to give your boyfriend a great neck massage.
Even like you're working from home. Have you been sitting in a chair for 8 hours?
Here are some stretches you can do.
Yeah, just like things like that.
Maybe you're a fitness trainer at a gym normally. Show people 3 exercises they can do for their glutes from home using a chair and a ball, right?
Yes, I have. So this is so funny that you say that because so I think all Orange Theory studios are closed right now, but my specific one closed, and so on our we have like a little Orange Theory app, and like they've been doing like uploading different workouts every single day that you can do from home.
Smart.
And if I didn't see that, because I've been doing that some days too, if I didn't see that, then I'd probably forget about Orange Theory and cancel my membership.
Right. Well, and even like, I was thinking about if you're a yoga instructor, and usually if people come to class, well, guess what? All people need is a mat. They already have it. So what time?
Let's do our classes from home this Sunday.
Exactly. If you
on this Zoom call and like just set it up and follow me.
Exactly. Like if you used to do a class Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 p.m., still do the class Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6:30 p.m. People will pay just like normal. You can give them a small discount if you want. Do it via Zoom.
And people will like that they have a schedule, and they will feel a bit
like a normal human.
Yes.
I'm still going to yoga, even if that means going and closing the door in my guest bedroom and lighting a candle and putting my lips.
Yeah.
Like that's
some soothing music.
Right. So I hope that we're just like spitballing off the top of our heads ideas for restaurants, massage therapists, hairstylists, lash artists. It's funny
because as we're talking, we're just thinking of more things.
Right.
that people can be doing too.
And guess what, people? It's because we just started. We just started. Allison and I are just having a conversation. We're like, let's put lipstick on and talk about ideas today. And if you do that, you'll get good. That's the thing is like, you'll get inspired. You'll get creative. And by the way, reach out to people. You need accountability right now for most people. There are freaks of nature like me that just do stuff on their own, most of the time. But having these sessions like with you is so valuable, and just being able to be like, hey, what else? Like, what about that? And then you give an idea, and then I'm like, that's fucking great. What about this? And then you're like, yeah, and then what about that?
Even like I've been doing that with a group of girls from work too, just like talking about what we've been doing, like how we've been going through like different things.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's important too that if you are doing something and like maybe you have a frustrating day, it's okay to quit and like show up the next day.
Right.
Like if let's say everything's going wrong and you're like, I can't do this, quit for the day.
Yeah.
And make sure you're up the next day and getting right back at it.
That's something I always say is it's okay to feel your feelings and like be down. Just don't get stuck there. Like I have those two. Yesterday, I was just like, I was like tired and I just laid down at like 2:30 for like an hour and I like took a nap, and then I opened my eyes and I was just like, that's okay. I was like, it's okay that I did that, but I can't get stuck here. I was like, get up, And I got up and got back to it.
The rest of the day.
and I also want, like, I don't want people to be like, well, for those of you who are really just feeling like you've lost your mojo right now, and it is taking a lot of emotional and mental energy to even get off the couch, I want you to know that's okay. First of all, like it's okay to feel that. But again, don't let yourself get stuck there, and do one little thing. Wipe down your bathroom counter. Clean your bathroom, shine your mirror. See how you feel afterward. I guarantee you'll do something else. You'll go, that felt good.
Don't feel like you're behind either. Like, tomorrow is a new day. Just start.
Yeah, just do something. Just do something. Just do something.
Anything. Just do it.
Just do it. Just do something. So I think that's great.
It was so funny. I was thinking about when I was like going through and like kind of thinking about things that I wanted to say on this call, I started just thinking about roof sales mastery and like the roofing industry in general.
Yeah.
And those guys, and it's such a mentality thing, because I was thinking about, I was like, roof salesmen must just be thriving right now. Everyone's home. No one's working.
Right.
Everyone has the option to like have someone on, like, you don't even have to be in contact with these people.
No, you don't.
Like
storms are popping off.
There's so many storms.
Insurance is still paying for jobs.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hail balls.
Yeah. She sent me photos.
There's so much opportunity out there, but I think again, it's just the mindset and like switching the mindset up. what's opportunity and what's like holding you back right now.
And also, people need to be okay with changing the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this method just doesn't work right now, what are you going to do? Just plan A didn't work. No, make plan B. Like, adapt.
It's just like a constant wheel of seeing what works right now and what doesn't. Even in my industry right now, like what's working with my marketing, like what's not working, what can I revamp today? And it's just constant as we're going through this. And it's a learning process for everyone because we've never gone through this before.
Right.
So like there's no answer on like what, like there's no one thing of what to do that's going to make you successful right now.
Right.
You just have to continue trying what's going to work for you.
Yeah. Try stuff, look at what other people are doing, ask for help, and instead of being intimidated by the people who are making shit happen, follow them. Ask them for help. Mm-hmm. Like, doesn't it feel better to be doing something about taking your results into your own control versus just sitting by and being a victim and watching your life crumble before your eyes?
Right.
It's up to you.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Just do something.
Just do something. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
Support small businesses. If you are a small business, listen to everything we said, replay the video, start it back up again.
Yeah. Take notes.
If you are in the fortunate situation of having a job, support small businesses.
Yeah.
If you get Heart right here, little clothing line, like just support any of your friends' small businesses, restaurants, like go out and support people because people are needed. Yeah.
And focus on what you can control. Focus on things that make you feel good and inspired. And do not get too wrapped up in the cocoon of depression and apathy. Because I know it feels good for a few minutes, few days, even a week or so. But then you know deep down that you're failing yourself when you just give up. And you know that because it feels like shit. So if you find yourself watching other people kicking ass and being like, that's not you actually hating them. It's you feeling bad about yourself.
It's hating yourself.
It is. And it's not about not loving yourself no matter what. It's if you really, really loved yourself and cared about yourself and everybody that you impact, you would kick ass. You would never let your friend just give up.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, like, friends, significant others, your family, like, everyone wants you to succeed. Don't let them down, too.
Don't let them down. And again, the world benefits from you giving your best. And the hours pass in the days anyway. It's not like you don't have energy for it. Whether you're sitting there, like, texting or playing TikTok videos, or you're like, you can spend that same time and energy typing, reading, learning something, reaching out to people, doing something of value. Just do something.
And again, this isn't saying that you can't do those things that you enjoy doing.
Do them after 8 p.m.
You enjoy TikTok videos or you enjoy watching.
I'm still doing all of those things.
Enjoy some of these things. Like, you can still do them, but do something that's going to benefit you and then reward yourself with these things.
Right. Just be a good boss to yourself. Mm-hmm. Schedule your time. Start doing things that actually make you feel good and fulfilled and worthwhile. Use the creative energy that you have inside of you because you are teaming with it, whether you realize it or not. And by the way, if you're somebody that's just coming from a full halt right now because you've just been sitting on the couch, it's going to feel really hard for a little bit. But just get over that hump. It's just like when you don't want to work. This happened to me yesterday. Hadn't worked out in like 6 days. I had company and like I just had been binge eating for days and I was staying up late. And I was like, I don't want to work out.
But how did you feel once you were done working?
As soon as I started doing it, I was like, yeah. I was like, you're hot. I was like, I'm a badass. And then I finished and I was like, hell yeah. And today I'm sore and it feels great, But you just have to get over that hump. Like, kick your ass, push yourself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, anything else? Any last words that you have?
No.
Topic?
No, I guess just do something.
Just do something. Guys, this is Alison Frazier. She's my longtime friend. Gosh, how long have we been friends for? I should have introduced you in the beginning, but...
You should have.
2011.
11?
9 years.
It's a decade.
We met selling roofs. We actually both
anniversary.
We bonded over a loaded potato in Pittsburgh.
We did.
Or Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
Back when we were fat.
I wasn't. No offense. I wasn't. But I wasn't ripped either. Alison and I actually both did Cutco cutlery, but she was in Pennsylvania and I lived in like the Midwest. So we were 2 time zones away from each other, And then when I started selling roofs, I actually worked in her hometown. We didn't know each other. Unbeknownst to me.
When I was like 3 hours away in Pittsburgh.
She was living in Pittsburgh, but I was working in the town she like grew up in where her parents live. And then the next year we actually met and she started selling roofs with me. So it's a really weird web. It's really weird. Mm-hmm. What the heck?
Just kismet, I guess.
Kismet, yeah. But now she kicks ass. She were you number 1 in your like group for real estate last year?
I was the top sales performer in my region.
She sold the most Ryan homes in her neck of the woods. She's an overachiever. She's great.
The most, but it was just I did it the best.
She did it the best.
I overcame the most obstacles, which is perfect for this call.
That's exactly right. And Alison sold roofs with me. She was also the sales manager for one of my clients in Michigan for like a year or 2. And now she does real estate and sells homes in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. And just an all-around badass, gives great advice, great listener. And thank you so much for sharing your nuggets of wisdom here today and brainstorming. I think this is going to provide value for a lot of people.
We should do this again soon.
We should do it once a week.
Maybe another topic next time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We could even start like a group.
We could.
I was thinking about this earlier. We could end this video at any time, but I was thinking about this earlier, like, not even for like roof sales mastery stuff, but I'm like, what about whether we monetized it or not, like creating an accountability of sorts group with just like our network to help our friends. Like, hey, like let's, and whether we can kind of be leaders. I know Zane would be able to provide a lot of value in that too. And just like helping people do something right now, like getting their minds right, giving them ideas, helping them come up with stuff. I think that'd be kind of a cool thing to do. Well,
I've always kind of thought that like Best Friends Inc. should be like just like a positive space to help each other too.
Yeah. Like some personal development type stuff. It could have like a wide menu of things that we do. Mm-hmm. But like, I just feel like right now, so many people need like a kick in the pants and just,
I feel like people just need inspiration.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. I think
you just gotta look for it.
That's right. It's everywhere. But people need leaders. That's what I was like yesterday. I was like, somebody needs to lead. That's what I was thinking. I was like I was having a couple different conversations with like various friends that were like having rough days or just rough period right now in general. And I was just thinking like, I'm like, man, stuff like this really like lights a fire under my ass to like make sure that I'm creating opportunity and seizing and seeing opportunity and then helping other people do the same. So I'm like, somebody needs to lead. That's what I was thinking yesterday. I'm like, I will be that person.
Well, I think it's so funny too, because I feel like I have so many friends who like have gotten themselves down and like don't even realize how much of a funk they're in.
Right.
And they like need to be called out on it.
Yes.
But like they don't even realize they're putting themselves in this situation. Yeah. And I just want to change their mind, like rewire their brain, like change that. So it's like, you guys, like every single person has some sort of value.
Yes.
That they give. It's just figuring out what that is.
Right.
And it might be easy to see and it might not be easy to see and you have to like tap into it, but it's there.
Yeah. Like somebody that doesn't think they have any skills but can speak Spanish, if they reached out to me right now and was like, hey, normally I work in a restaurant, but my restaurant's closed. Could I translate your sales training for you into Spanish? I'd be like, yeah.
Yes.
I would pay you handsomely to do that because I could sell that to Spanish speakers. I'd be like, can you do some marketing? Just translate some of my marketing into Spanish. That's just good. That's what you can be. See, there's so many things that people can be doing right now if they just open their mind to it. You don't have to be particularly talented or anything. You just have to do something. So, cool. Well,
and that's it.
That's it, folks. Buddy, that's all, folks. Well, I hope everybody got value out of this today. We didn't have like an exact agenda. We just wanted to kind of word vomit some stuff out and give some inspiration and guidance and ideas. And I think we're probably going to do this again here soon, so stay tuned. And maybe we'll create a group.
If you stuck around for this long.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a focus group. I could even do it for my audience, and we could like just do some. What are people struggling with right now? How can we do this? Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great idea.
Matter of fact. Well, everybody, I'm going to say goodbye, and then Alison and I are going to chit-chat. So thank you for being on. Thanks for listening to us all. We love you guys. You're kicking ass. And if you're not kicking ass, start. Just do something. But
just start tomorrow.
Just start. But it's been real. Alison, thank you so much for your time.
Of course. Anytime.